Okay, so a topic that might interest everyone because whether a person rents, whether they own a home, whether they're looking to buy a home, they got to stay somewhere. So everyone is looking into the cost of housing. Everyone is noticing the cost of rent going up, the cost of mortgages going up, the interest rates on buying a home going up, people being priced out of the market. So an interesting piece of news is that a couple of Democrats, a handful of Democrats in the Senate and in the House, have passed a bill to kick Wall Street out of the housing market, specifically the single family home housing market, because we all know what happened over the last couple of years, especially during the housing craze, during the spike of house prices in 2021 up into the summer of 2022. We saw what happened. We saw how all of these massive hedge funds, these billion-dollar corporations jumped in, BlackRock, other companies jumped into the housing market, and people were priced out. Yeah, a lot of these people were just priced out. They did their thing. They worked for years, saving a down payment, got their credit right. They did everything that they were supposed to do. Went to buy a home. It was worth $300,000. Hedge fund comes in like, oh, you know what? Screw that family. I give you $350 for it in cash. How about that? And this was happening all over the country. So we seen house prices spike. So a bank will say, okay, I qualified you for this house for $75,000. You make $75,000 a year. You're qualified for a mortgage. A couple months later, oh, 75 is not enough. You need to make 120,000 to buy the same house. So if you ain't got it too bad, so sad, find a cosigner or something. So we seen this thing going on, and a lot of people were outraged. Like, why are all of these investors? Then you have foreign investment companies like Chinese coming in too. Why are all these massive investors buying single-family homes? So we're going to this Klaus Schwab formula of you will own nothing and be happy. So let the billionaires own everything. You sit here and rent a house for life because the American dream is dead. That picket fence, buying a house, owning your own home, and all that crap, that's dead. You need to rent a house. You need to make triple the income. So if the house is renting for $2,000 a month, you need to make at least, at minimum, $6,000 a month in order to get this house. Otherwise, too bad, so sad. Go find a studio apartment or something. So a couple of Democrats said, we're going to put a stop to this. And then they immediately got some backlash. People were saying, well, we don't need government involved. Keep government out of housing markets. Keep the government away from this. But the government's already involved because the government is subsidizing Wall Street. The government is subsidizing a lot of these massive corporations. BlackRock and a lot of these other billion-dollar corporations, they bought and paid for a lot of these people in Congress. So what you mean no government involved? The government is involved on the side of the billionaires. And then you're hearing the statement saying, well, it's okay now because they're not buying as many homes. These investors are starting to sell off some of their homes. They're not buying as many homes in 2023 as they bought in 2021 or in 2022. Yeah, there's a reason because house prices are dropping. Interest rate went up. The Fed raised the interest rates and house prices are dropping. So yeah, these guys look at these houses like assets to make money off of. So they don't care about owning a home forever. They're trying to maximize their profit. So what they're doing is they're trying to sell off while they still have equity in the home because they bought the house. For example, they bought a house for $300,000 in 2021 or in 2020, and they're saying, okay, we can sell it for $400 now. So let's not wait until it drops to $350. Let's maximize their profit. So what you're going to see is once house prices start rising again, they're going to wait until house prices rise again, and then they're going to jump right back in. Wall Street is going to buy millions of homes again and gobble up all of the equity. And then once the prices go down a little bit, they're going to start selling the homes. So they're just basically bringing in the houses, sucking out the equity in them while raising rent and mortgage prices at the same time. Then they're dumping them back on the market. So something has to be done about this with single family homes because we have millions of people completely priced out of the market. We got millions of people renting houses because the banks are saying you need to make an outlandish amount of money, like 5, 6, 7 times the average salary of American citizens. You need to be making that in order to even qualify for a mortgage. Before we even consider you, you need to have that massive income. So some people are saying, well, this could backfire, and they have a point to this because a lot of these corporations who are sucking out the equity in these homes, who are buying these houses and then dumping them back on the market once the prices dip, A lot of these corporations are also involved in constructing these houses. What does that mean? Well, that means they're responsible for supplying houses. So they're invested into large neighborhoods. When you build a new housing area, HOA or something, they're also involved in apartments. So if you kick these companies out of the housing market, they lose incentive to even build the houses to begin with. We're going to have a decreased supply. We already have a housing shortage in the United States, and that's a completely video on why. But if you kick a lot of these corporations out of the single family housing market, the housing shortage is going to be even more severe, causing an even higher spike in home prices. So let's look at this Fox Business video here with Kevin O'Leary. Let's see what he had to say about it.
To get your take on this one, Democrats are introducing legislation to get hedge funds out of the housing market. New reports are revealing big investors accounted for over a quarter of all single-family home purchases in June. Okay, so on the one hand, Kevin, I hate this trend because it makes life hard for the little guy. On the other hand, I just don't want to see the government get involved any more than they already are in regulating housing. Where do you come down on this one?
Very bad idea, very bad policy. When you try and manipulate markets or sources of capital, and because that's really what's going on here, all of these different elements in our economy provide funding for all kinds of different sectors, including real estate, which is the 11th sector of the S&P. When it became the 11th sector, all kinds of different structures, including hedge funds, including private equity, including more speculative family offices, got involved in real estate. And so to actually decide, well, I'm going to pick this source of funding over this one is not what the government should be doing. I don't care if they're Democrats or Republicans, whoever they are. Stay out of the markets. Let the markets be the markets. That's what is so efficient about our economy. When you let it do its thing, it's the lowest cost of capital with the most liquidity. This kind of
See, I can get what he means, like stay out of market because we don't want big government. We don't want the feds putting their thumb on everything. But in some instances, it seems like federal regulations are necessary. So stay out of the markets. So you're just going to let Wall Street gobble up everything?
government policy is very, very bad and destructive.
Well, Kevin, speaking of...
Yeah, so let's look at a couple of these comments down here. Hilarious how O'Leary is upset about manipulating market when his fund does it every day. You cannot, yeah, so here's what I was saying. You cannot allow BlackRock buy up all single family homes offering 20% above the market, destroying the middle class so you will own nothing and be happy. There it is. Eternal renters with no equity. This law is desperately needed. So I think some type of law is needed. I'm not sure about this specific thing that these Democrat congressional guys are trying to push, but something has to be done. And it's crazy that these guys aren't getting large support. They're not getting support from House leadership. They're not getting support from the White House because, like I said, Wall Street has bought and paid for the White House. They bought and paid for Congress. So it's going to be really hard to even try to kick them out of the market to begin with. It needs to happen. Congress cannot have a monopoly on the housing in our country. So here's somebody who disagrees. Banning Wall Street from housing would be destructive. That's the goal of the bill. Prices need to crash. For some reason, the more apartments they build, the more prices go up. It's like there is price fixing going on. Yeah, so you got to point to that. Well, the reason why a lot of that happens is because a lot of people congregate to the same areas, and there becomes a shortage of houses in those areas. Everybody jumps to the same city, so there's a craze. So you have an apartment complex, they got 100 apartments, but you got 150 people trying to get in. Of course, prices are going to go up. Cities are growing. Rural America, Middletown America, they're shrinking while the cities are becoming more and more packed. And these cities aren't built to hold that many people at once in such a rapid period of time. They're growing too fast. They're the reason why we can't buy homes and are stuck paying outrageous rental. We literally can pay for our mortgages, but can't find affordable prices because cash buyers, aka the bank investors, keep snuffing first-time buyers out. And they don't loan anything out. And if they do, it's crazy high APR. Yeah, and you know what's becoming popular again? What's becoming popular again is adjusted mortgages, like the ones from 2008 famously, where a person would take out a mortgage and the bank would be like, okay, your mortgage is going to be $1,500. And then 6 months later, you know what? We adjusted your interest rate. So instead of $1,500, now it's $2,100. Extra hit $600. And next year, it might be $2,500. So a lot of people went into a foreclosure because of this. But it's becoming more popular now because the massive price of homes. Prices have went up so much that people know what happened in 2008 but had taken a risk, and they're trying to say, the banks are saying, well, we fixed it, we're not going to do it the same way we did it back in 2008. Yeah, we'll see. This guy's not for the average person. Big money has had an unfair advantage in zero interest rates. This is nonsense. Fed very much favor the big guys. This Kevin is a true shark, not a friend. People, I'm all for a free market, but freedom comes with responsibility. Responsibility for the freedom of others. But more and more are moving away from the truth and in kind of moral foundations. Yeah, I think I get what he's trying to say. So yeah, there you have it. We'll see what happens with that. I doubt anything is going to happen at all with that. And they're trying to say, well, Wall Street is out of it. Wall Street is not buying as many homes as they used to. Just wait until prices start going back up. Wait until these interest prices go down, when homes are more affordable for people, when corporations feel that they can max out their value and sucking out the equity in the house. Wait and watch how quickly they jump back in. So let me know what y'all think. Leave me your thoughts below. Share the video. Thanks for watching.